What is up, everybody? Welcome back to my channel. You are watching Build and Battle MTG. If you're new, my name is Austin, and today we are doing a deck tech on Chatterfang Squirrel General. This is a super fun commander. I've played many games with this deck, and I feel like I've tuned it up to the perfect budget Chatterfang Squirrel General deck. If you're new, please remember to like and subscribe. It'd really help my small YouTube channel out a lot. And yeah, let's jump into the video. So, Chatterfang is a 3-drop 3/3 with Forest Walk that says if one or more tokens would be created under your control, those tokens plus that many 1/1 green squirrel tokens are created instead, and you can pay 1 black, sacrifice X squirrels, and target creature gets plus X minus X until end of turn. So we have a ton of text on just this little 3-drop. First thing to note is it does have Forest Walk, which actually we have a few cards that synergize with that in this deck, and that has actually won a few games for me, maybe just through commander damage or some equipment that we will be going over later. There's only one, I believe. There might be two, but the main ability we are going to be focusing on here is whenever we make tokens, we basically make double the amount of tokens, and the double amount are squirrels. So, for example, if we would make 2 1/1 green sapperling tokens from this, we'd make those plus 2 green squirrel tokens. So there's a lot of things we can do with these squirrel tokens in this deck. We can sacrifice them to his ability as a removal spell. That does happen quite a bit. And we don't have to pay 1 black for each -1 just one time, so that's really nice. You can go wide with tokens, which is definitely a strategy in this deck. Also kind of like an aristocrat's sacrifice side theme. Alright, so the first thing we're going to be going over this deck is the cards that are going to make us a buttload of tokens. So starting with Eska's Chariot, for 3 and a green, we get a 4/4 vehicle. When it enters the battlefield, make 2 2/2 green cat creature tokens, and crew 4. When Eska's Chariot attacks, create a token that's a copy of target creature you control. Okay, so this card is really good in this deck. So if we get Chatterfang out on curve, that's turn 3. Next turn, play Eska's Chariot, make 2 2/2s and 2 1/1s. Then next turn, we can crew this with the 2 2/2s that we made from Eska's Chariot. Then when it attacks, we make another 2/2 and another 1/1. That's just insane value right there. What is that? 5 bodies when this enters on turn. No, this is not a body itself. So I guess you get 4 bodies with this vehicle that has the ability to make 2 more every time it attacks. That's just really busted. Yeah, it's a great card in this deck. Also, very budget. All these cards I'm covering are budget. Next up, we got Chitter Spitter. For 2 and a green, it's an artifact. At the beginning of your upkeep, you may sacrifice a token. If you do, put an acorn counter on Chitter Spitter. Squirrels you control get a +1/+1 for each acorn counter on Chitter Spitter. And you can pay green, tap it, and make a 1/1 green squirrel creature token. So basically what we want to do is play this while we have Chatterfang out and start sacking our squirrels to this each upkeep, and then having the ability to make 2 1/1s for 1 green mana with Chatterfang out is really good. And then this can make our squirrels just giant. Yeah, I've seen this make my squirrels like 5/5s, which that'll just win you the game right there. Next up, we have, this card's really good. We have New Scraf Mob. I don't know if that's how you say that. So for 6, you get a 0/0, but when it enters the battlefield, it enters with 5 +1/+1 counters, and whenever a player casts a spell, remove a +1/+1 counter from it. If you do, put a 2/2 black zombie creature token onto the battlefield. So whenever a player casts a spell, remove a +1 from this, and you get a 2/2. So after 5 spells are cast, you're going to be making 5 2/2s off this, along with 5 1/1 squirrels. That's insane value for 6. For 6, you're getting 5 bodies without Chatterfang. With Chatterfang, you're getting 10 bodies for 6. That's really good. Also, this might de-incentivize your opponents to cast spells. Maybe they might start thinking about that. So yeah, definitely great card. Next up, we have Feasting Trollking. For 6, it's 2 and 4 green, so really heavy on the green side. That kind of stinks, but it is definitely worth it in this deck. We get a 7/6 Vigilance Trample. When Feasting Troll King enters the battlefield, if you cast it from your hand, make 3 food tokens. Along with Chatterfang, we're going to make 3 1/1s. And then we can sack 3 food tokens and return Feasting Troll King from the graveyard to the battlefield. Activate this ability only during your turn. We do have other ways to make food tokens in this deck. And the amount of squirrels and food you can make out of this, and then just having the 7/6 trample body is really good. Yeah, it's definitely worth running in here. Even for that steep green cost, we do have some dual lands in the deck to kind of compensate for that. Next up, we have Rise of the Dreadmarn. For 2 and a black, it's an instant, and it says create X 2/2 black zombie berserker creature tokens, where X is the number of non-token creatures that died this turn, and we can foretell this out for 1 black. So this is a great board wipe protection card, but also if we just want to swing in with our stuff, have it die, and then make that many 2/2s and squirrels back. Yeah, it's just really versatile. It's an instant, and we can cast this for 1 later if we foretell it out, which is nice. Next up, we have Verdant Force for 8. It's a 7/7 elemental. At the beginning of each upkeep, make a 1/1 green sapperling creature token. And we're also going to make a squirrel with Chatterfang out. We do have ways in this deck to make this cheaper, obviously. It's a commander deck, have to have ramp. But there are a lot of ways to get these Rampaging Baloffs and Verdant Force type cards out really early in the game. Next up, we have Deep Forest Hermit. For 5, it's a 1/1 with Vanishing 3. Which means it enters the battlefield with 3 time counters on it. At the beginning of your upkeep, remove a time counter from it, and if it has no time counters on it, sacrifice it. When it enters the battlefield, we make 4 1/1s. So we're going to make 8 for this, and squirrels you control get +1/+1. So we basically make 8 2/2s from this when it enters, which is just busted. Next up, we have Ogre Slumlord for 5. It's a 3/3. And it says, whenever another non-token creature you control dies, you may create a 1/1 black rat. And rats you control have death touch, so this is just going to make us a bunch of tokens when our stuff dies. We have the first Iron Games. This is in here. It's a 3-drop Saga. We have this in here because it makes a token. Then we can put the +1/+1 counters on Chatterfang because it has Forest Walk, so that's just going to keep pounding on our opponents that have Forest. It draws 2 cards, and then it makes another token at the end, which is nice for 3. Taste of Death is really good in this deck. For 6, each player sacrifices 3 creatures. You create 3 food tokens. So if you sack 3 squirrels, you make the 3 squirrels back, and you get the 3 food. Really good card. That's going to set your opponent's backs by so much. Next up, we have Second Harvest. It is a little bit expensive. I think it's like $3, but it's so worth it. For 4, it's an instant speed, really good. And it says, for each token you control, put a token on the battlefield that's a copy of that permanent. So if we have 8 squirrels, we basically make 16 squirrels from this because we make 8 and then Chatterfang makes 8 as well. Great card. Wins so many games for 4 at instant speed too. We have Gnome Master Chef. For 4, it's a 5/3 trample. Good body. At the beginning of your end step, create a number of food tokens equal to the number of non-token creatures you had enter the battlefield under your control this turn, and we may pay 1. We can pay 1, sacrifice a food token, and target creature gains indestructible end of turn until end of turn, tap it. So kind of like protection. Good card. Makes tokens. We have Draykeeper. For 5, it's a 2/2. When it enters the battlefield, we make 2 1/1 squirrels, and we can pay 4. And squirrels you control get +1/+0 and menace until end of turn. So this can make our squirrels have the ability to hit through for a bunch of damage. We have Sedgemoor Witch. For 3, it's a 3/2 menace with ward, pay 3 life. That's nice. And this says, whenever we cast or copy an instant or sorcery spell, we make a 1/1 black pest. With when this creature dies, we gain 1 life. So we have instants or sorceries in this deck, obviously. It's a good body for 3, and it's just going to keep making tokens. We have Golgari Germination. For 3, it's an enchantment. Whenever another non-token creature you control dies, put a 1/1 green sapperling onto the battlefield. We have Hornet's Nest. Definitely a great card in this deck. For 3, it's a 0/2 defender. And when Hornet's Nest is dealt damage, make that many 1/1 green insect creature tokens with flying and death touch. So this is really going to decentivize our opponents from attacking us, and if they do, we're going to make a bunch of tokens. We have Squirrel for 3. It's a 1/2 with Evolve, which Evolve reads whenever another creature enters the battlefield if it has higher power than this, put a +1/+1 counter on it. And whenever one or more +1/+1 counters are put on Squirrel, can get that many 1/1 squirrels. Prosperous Innkeeper is in here. It's a 2-drop 1/1. When it enters, we make a treasure. So that's really good ramp. And then also, whenever another creature enters the battlefield under our control, we gain 1 life. This can easily gain you 20 life. Like, easily. Especially if you get it out on curve, turn 2. And last up, we have Fungal Rebirth as kind of an Eternal Witness effect. For 3, it's an instant. Return target permanent card from your graveyard to your hand. If a creature dies this turn, make 2 1/1s. So we'll make 4 with this for 3 and get the Eternal Witness effect. That's broken in this deck. Next up, we have some Squirrel value cards. So first up is Realm Walker. For 2 and a green, we get a 2/3 Shapeshifter with Changeling, so it is every creature type. When it enters the battlefield, choose a creature type. So most of the time, you're going to want to choose Squirrel for this unless you really need a certain creature type. You may look at the top card of your library at any time, and you may cast creature cards, creature cards from the chosen type from the top of your library. So we can cast Squirrels from the top with this card. That's really good. Next up, we have Squirrel Mob for 1 and 2 green. It's a 2/2, and Squirrel Mob gets +1/+1 for each other squirrel on the battlefield. So this can easily be like a 10-drop or 10/10 for 3. Really good. And we have Squirrel Sovereign for 2 other squirrels you control get +1/+1. So play this on curve, and then we play Chatterfang, and it's already a 4/4. That's nice, just to start getting in with that Forest Walk damage. Alright, now moving on to some single target removal. We have Pest Infestation. Great card in this deck. For XX and green, it's a sorcery. Destroy up to X target artifacts and or enchantments. Create twice X many black and green pest creature tokens with when this creature dies, you gain 1 life. This can make a bunch of tokens, get rid of a bunch of things. It's really good. We have Return to Nature for 1 and a green. It's instant. Choose 1, destroy target artifact, destroy target enchantment, or exile target card from a graveyard. We have Gelatinous Cube, which is great. It's for 4, for double black and 2. It's a 4/3 with Engulf, which means when Gelatinous Cube enters the battlefield, exile target non-ooze creature and opponent controls until Gelatinous Cube leaves the battlefield. And then we can pay X and a black. Put target creature card with mana value X, exile with Gelatinous Cubes into its owner's graveyard. Then we have Heartless Act for 1 and a black. It's an instant. Choose 1, destroy target creature with no counters, or remove up to 3 counters from target creature. Alright, now moving on to the non-basic lands. We have Jungle Hollow, just because the 1 life is nice, but mostly to hit stuff like the Massacre Worm mana cost or the Feasting Troll King mana cost. We have Spawning Bed. It enters untapped, which is nice. Taps for 1, or we can pay 6, sack it, and put 3 tokens on. 3 1/1 Scions that can sack for mana, and then we also get Squirrels. Temple of Malady to scry. Enters tapped, and we scry 1, and then it can tap for the black or the green. We have Skemfar Elder Hall because enters tapped, taps for green, and we can pay 5, tap it, sack it, and up to 1 target creature you don't control gets -2/-2 until end of turn, and we make 2 1/1 elves. Mosswort Bridge is in here. It has Hideaway, so we look at the top 4 cards of our library when we play it, exile 1 of them face down, and put it exile 1 of them face down, then put the rest on the bottom of your library in any mana order. It enters taps for green, and we can pay green, tap it, and play the exile card only if we have creatures with total power 10 or greater. And then we have Hive of the Eye Tyrant. It enters tapped unless we have 2 or more, or if you control 2 or more other lands, Hive of the Eye Tyrant enters the battlefield, taps for black, and we can pay 4, have it become a 3/3 menace with whenever this creature attacks, exile target card from the player's, from defending player's library. It's still a land. And that's going to do it for this deck, guys. I really hope you enjoyed. Please remember to like and subscribe, and we'll see you in the next video.